Hey, you guys, welcome back to Naughty Love Movement. It's your girl, Nikki, and today I'm bringing opportunities for advertisement on my channel. If anyone is interested, they can email us at naughtylove2020@gmail.com. Our prices are affordable and reasonable, and please reach out to us. We can start our videos with any commercials that you would like us to advertise. I look forward to hearing from you. I'm out. One. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday to my naughty crew. What's up, what's up, what's up? I'm tired. Hey, Jarrell. I am tired. I was on the sick and shut in list, Jarrell. Yes, I was. But I'm better now. I'm back. I'm tired. We covering in this Diddy trial. Yes. Please thumbs up the video, share this live out, leave comments, interact with the channel, and of course, donations are definitely appreciated. Happy Friday to you all. I'm here, okay? Your girl is freaking. I was out last night. Oh gosh, chill. But I gotta bring y'all the deets, okay? All right, when we left off with the Cassie trial, the prosecution was questioning Cassie about her relationship. You got info for me? Okay. They were questioning Cassie about her relationship with Kid Cudi. Cassie also revealed that she sued Diddy and received a $20 million payout. Okay, so now we all know how much she got paid for that settlement that was settled within 24 hours. Okay, like he didn't want no sauce. Like, the diddler is going down. Diddy done, in the words of Wendy Williams. Diddy done. Okay. So far, the prosecution has been able to prove forced labor. They have been able to prove how he uses his business. In this scenario, he uses his staff to set up the freak offs and all the supplies and things like that. Also, you see coercion and bribery. The security guard from the Intercontinental Hotel testified that Diddy was trying to pay him off to be quiet. Okay, so say what you want, but the prosecution, to me, is doing a very, very good job of presenting their case thus far. Now we're at the cross examination for Cassie. Okay, and the defense, to me, they're trying to drive a narrative that him and Cassie, Diddy and Cassie, were drug addicts, and at the end of the day, on drugs or not, whether you're under the influence or not, you're still responsible for your actions. I give you the example: if someone is charged with vehicular homicide, right? They still go to prison, especially if somebody passes away as a result of their actions. Like, that is no excuse. So the defense is trying to drive this narrative that Cassie consented to all of these freak offs and things like that. And in all actuality, they made Cassie even look even more credible and better. Okay, and they're dragging their feet. So we're gonna get into the testimony from yesterday and what is going on thus far today. So please thumbs up this video. Your girl is tired, but I'm here. Okay, so we're gonna go to CNN. For the highlights from the cross examination. Okay, here are the takeaways. The cross examination of Cassie Ventura continues today. Here are the takeaways from her first day of questioning by Sean Diddy Combs' lawyers. So Friday could be the final day on the stand for star witness Cassie, whose intimate childbirth has become a significant storyline in the trial of Diddy. Okay. After 2 days of prosecution questioning, Cassie Ventura faced a tougher interrogation Thursday under cross examination from Combs' legal team. Ventura testified for 5.5 hours Thursday and answered questions about her sex with Combs, whether anyone else knew about their drug fueled ex parties known as freak offs, as Combs owns. Yo, somebody need to trademark freak off. Yeah, we want to get into that. So we're just going to get into yesterday's testimony, and then we'll get into today. Victoria's is the prosecution's star witness in her testimony Tuesday and Wednesday, alleging her ex-boyfriend Combs physically and actually abused her is key to the charge against the hip hop mogul. He has pleaded not guilty to racketeering, conspiracy, ex trafficking, transport, and to engage in prostitution, and could face up to life in prison. And I remind you that prostitution is illegal. Okay, and then you add transporting them across state lines. That adds a whole nother later. It's an ex trafficking case. The reason why the DV is coming up so much because it speaks to the fact of how she was forced into the situation. Hello, Yuan. That's what it speaks to. So he's not being charged with DV, but it speaks to how he behaved in this situation, how she felt forced to comply with these freak offs. That's what it speaks to. Prosecution have said Combs and his inner circle used threats, violence, drugs, bribery, arson, kidnapping, and lies to coerce Ventura and another woman into participating in freak offs and to protect the music mogul's reputation. The defense acknowledged Combs has been violent, okay, with former girlfriends and has a different ex life, but said those do not equate to racketeering or ex trafficking. They also said the woman consented to these sexual arrangements and said they were truly motivated by money and jealousy. Combs trial, and they tried to bring that out a lot yesterday. They asked Cassie about how she felt about Kim Porter and Gina Hahn. And Cassie admitted on the stand, yeah, that made me jealous. They were supposed to be in an exclusive relationship, but then on the other hand, anytime Cassie tried to move on, she was met with abuse. She was stalked. Okay, every time she tried to get away, this man will harass her to come back. Okay, like that speaks to abuse, and y'all know there is levels of abuse, and at a certain point when you've been in a situation for so long, you just comply. Why? Out of fear, because what's going to be the repercussions if I say no? Sean and Diddy, there's video out there is him of saying, I get whatever I want. That is his mentality. He has a God complex. All right. And he's a bully. All right. So here are the takeaways. So court pushing to finish Ventura's testimony before baby arrives. Exactly. The court has taken a number of steps to ensure Ventura's testimony is completed by Friday, hoping to wrap up before the pregnant pop star gives birth. And let me tell you, the defense is leaning on this heavy. Hey, do-rags, they are leaning on this heavy. They asked the judge for extra time to question her, and the judge pushed back like, no, I'm allotting you the same amount of time that I gave you the prosecution. All is fair. I love this judge, by the way. So Victoria is due to deliver her third child next month. In a discussion late Wednesday about whether to end Ventura's testimony 45 minutes early, prosecutor Comey laid out her concerns. The witness is very pregnant. We're afraid she could have the baby over the weekend. And all this stress from having to testify can force her to go into early labor. Let's just keep it real. We want her off the stand before the weekend. We believe 45 minutes could make a difference. The court previously issued guidance that proceedings will stretch until 5 p.m. for the first week of the testimony, but the following weeks will only last until 3 p.m. And let me tell you, the prosecution is dragging their feet. They do not have a point to drive home. They're trying to highlight all these text messages between her and Diddy. Even Cassie pushed back on the stand and said there was a lot more to that conversation than what y'all highlighting. Okay, like Cassie ain't no dummy. Okay. On Thursday, the defense gave Ventura an iPad with exhibits to review during the lunch break in an effort to speed things up. The judge told the defense team they need to complete their cross examination of Ventura around lunch Friday, but he left open the possibility of granting them additional time if needed. He said he wants to have Ventura off the stand Friday. The direct took a day and a half, so the defense will have a day and a half. So you have today, you have the morning tomorrow, Judge Submarinian told the defense. So the defense read aloud Ventura's sex. Okay. The defense cross examination began with defense attorney Estavo reading aloud affectionate messages between Ventura and St. Combs over the years. I mean, they had a 10-year relationship. What do you expect? Oh, hold on, guys. I'm having system issues at work, so that's why I jumped on. Yes, the judge is over Diddy's defense. As he should. They trying to every little trick in the trade to get around this. Okay. All right. So the text read, I'm a very lucky woman, Victoria wrote to Combs in January of 2008. Text messages. I miss you so much. I fly wherever you needed me, whenever. I love you. Many other messages were actually explicit. I'm always ready to freak off. LOL, LOL, she said in August of 2009. The jury was shown sex from 2012, reminiscing on past freak offs and how they enjoyed when they made love after one of them. Victoria also confirmed she and Combs had conversation about the swinger lifestyle, nothing not noting it was very different from the freak offs. In a March 2017 text message, Ventura wrote she enjoyed freak offs when we both won it. When we both won it. Okay? Like, pay attention to the wording. What's up, Durags? Happy Friday. All right. She said, I would say that love and freak offs were just words at that point. She testified Thursday. Other messages show Ventura frustration. In other messages, Ventura expressed her hesitancy with the freak offs. The last time was a mistake, but since has made me feel a little dirty and grimy as opposed to actual and spontaneous. That's the only reason why I go back and forth in my mind with wanting and not wanting to do it. Ventura wrote him in December of 2009. I got nervous that I'm just becoming the girlfriend that you get your fantasies off with, and that's it. Okay? And because that's all she was a sex slave to him. Okay? Some messages also show her frustration with the relationship with Combs. I never seem to make the right decision to you, she wrote in October 2007. A few weeks after her 21st birthday, Ventura testified Combs kissed her for the first time at that party. Ciao. I'm really hurt by the way you deal with me. She wrote him in 2010. I don't need your money. I need some attention. I'm thankful, but I can pay for these things myself. Ventura agreed that they had open communication, although she testified it was usually a go one way street. She would send messages being open about her feelings more often than he would, she explained. Victoria didn't tell employees or friends about the freak offs because she was ashamed. Hello? Would you be out bragging about that? At some look, she may have been into it at some point, but once she said she didn't want to be into it, he needed to stop. But he continued to pressure her. Okay? So Victoria acknowledged she never told her friends or any of Combs' staff members about the freak offs. Victoria said she definitely didn't want his staff to know about them. Assistants would often set up the hotel rooms beforehand, she said, but she didn't recall a staff member walking in during the freak off session. Child, okay? So this is him using his staff. This is all speaking to the racketeering charge. Let's understand what racketeering is. Shall we pull up the definition? Racketeering is the type of organized crime involving patterns of illegal activities often conducted by a criminal organization to generate profit. It's not a single crime, but a series of criminal acts performed over a period of time. The term racketeering is often associated with the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organization Act, RICO. Let's do trafficking. Trafficking, the unlawful act of transporting or coercing people in order to benefit from their work or service, typical in the form of forced labor or actual exploitation. So let's be clear on those definitions, okay? Let's get back into this. So she said her friends knew Combs physically abused her, sometimes because they witnessed it themselves. She also told her parents and brother about the abuse at different points, she testified. Now, in 2012, Diddy overdosed. Combs overdosed on painkillers in February of 2012 and for a time had addiction to opiates, Ventura testified. He and Victoria had freak offs and went to X clubs before Combs went without her to a party at the Playboy Mansion, she testified. And mind you, Diddy's LA mansion is in the same neighborhood as a Playboy Mansion. They even said like there's tunnels that lead to the Playboy Mansion from the houses. Okay. So, quote, from what he told me, he took a very strong opiate that night, but we didn't know what was happening. So we took him to the hospital. So Estavo, the defense attorney, asked a series of questions regarding Combs' use of opiates and his mood when he was not using them. Cassie said he was extremely dependent on his opiates, right? Or that was the defense. She said for a time. He was very upset if his opioids were taken away from him, asked by the defense. She said, I guess so. All right. So Combs often said he didn't remember physically abusing her because he was inebriated when he did. Ventura confirmed when asked. She acknowledged getting high on drugs was at times part of the appeal of freak offs, and they called each other get high partners. Ventura said Combs was explosive at times when he found out that she was doing rugs with her friends or took his drugs without him knowing. If we weren't getting high or if I wasn't doing it with him, it was a problem, she said. So Es- Estavivo, whatever her name is, reviewed the text messages that said she suggests Combs was going through withdrawal in the days before the March 2016 assault at the Intercontinental Hotel. Ventura testified that she does not remember him going through withdrawal at the time, but she acknowledged the text appeared to suggest he was sick at the time. Multiple arguments over jealousy. Let's get into it. Please thumbs up the video. The defense has said the case is really about jealousy, and on Thursday sought to show that Combs and Ventura arguments usually came when he suspected her of cheating, even though he can sleep with whoever he wants. But Cassie, his women, they not allowed to have extracurricular activities outside of him. And sir, I say this: if you were solidified in your spot, you wouldn't have the jealousy. Okay, like, come on now. This nigga is weak sauce. Thumbs up the video. So Ventura testified that she had some jealousy of Kim Porter, the late model and actress who shared 3 children with Combs. Ventura also says she was really upset when she learned Combs was spending time with a woman referred to as Gina in April of 2014. Gina is the woman that interviewed with Tasha K. Okay, go check out that interview. All right. Ventura said they argued multiple times about Combs getting back together with Gina and argued about other women. Combs was often suspicious that she was romantically involved with other men, Ventura said, testifying he expected her to exclusively date him despite his own entanglements with many women over the years. Ventura added that his jealousy triggered his temper. It was a little scary, she said. Ventura testified that Combs was irate when he learned she was briefly dating the rapper Kid Cudi in 2011. Ventura said she broke it off with Kid Cudi after Combs assaulted her and threatened more violence on her and the rapper. Women on social media will often claim to have relationships with Combs, Ventura testified. It happened often enough that I don't know that I would remember every single one. So Combs closely engaged with defense. So Combs has appeared engaged with his attorneys and the testimony in the court. During the questioning of Ventura about text messages, Combs wrote notes on orange sticky notes and passed one after another to his attorneys sitting beside him. He also spoke during the break briefly with Isavo, the attorney handling the cross-examination. His attorney have indicated they value speaking to him. In a sidebar conversation on Wednesday afternoon recorded in the court transcript, defense attorney Mark Agnafilio asked the court to push the start of cross-examination to Thursday morning so that he could have time to speak with Combs. We need to talk to him, Agnafilio said. It's not nothing but 45 minutes with him. Our time is very limited because he's incarcerated. So we would cherish having an additional 45 minutes to speak with him and get him prepared for a very long cross. So the cross examination was intense. Okay. Also that came up. She was in Africa shooting, what's that movie? Honey 3. And she was dating Michael B. Jordan at the time, and Diddy got wind of that and acted a damn fool. Okay, this is a man that is a narcissist, egotistical maniac. Okay, he could sleep with whoever he want, and but Cassie couldn't, and she still had to be at the disposal of his freak offs. Okay, so those are some of the highlights from her testimony yesterday. At the end of the day, I don't think the defense drove home the point they wanted. They wanted to discredit Cassie and make it seem like she was complicit in all of this. But when you add the abuse on top of everything, that's when you have the forced labor. She felt like she could not say no. She felt like she did not have a choice in the matter. And he did a good job of demeaning her, devaluing her, and making her feel like less than nothing. And I believe the driving force around Cassie handing his ball sacks to him right now is she realized that Diddy did not really even love her. She was another object in his game, his sick game. Okay. So let's get into today. I got the in the press up. What the blood clot? See, the music industry is sick. And I'm gonna show you how. Look at what came up. Cassie testified in court that Nicki Minaj encouraged her to stay with Diddy after she opened up to her about all the horrible things she was going through. Nicki Minaj is sick, and this bitch should be canceled. So this is the prosecution. Oh, okay, continue. Well, I didn't reach out to a lot of people. Sean had too many loyal friends in the industry. Loyal friends like who? Well, like I reached out to Nicki Minaj, she told me to stop complaining. It's part of the game. You are rich and famous. Girl will die to be in my shoes. Cancel that hoe. Cancel that hoe. And that's why she is okay being married to a rapist. And Nicki Minaj also put it in her song to say, Cassie, this is some sick shit. All right, so let's get into today's testimony. Shout out to the In the Press. Please go over to his page and subscribe. He's doing a great job keeping up with all of the case. What's so easy to say? What's so easy to say? Let me know what you're talking about, young. Let me make sure I got the beginning. Look, May 15, Combs' lawyers argued to dismiss the case, saying it is time barred and not subject to a cite New York statute. Negative. Oh, so this is a falsified post has been circulating. The post below is not from Inner City Press. Okay, so it was false. All right. All right. So this is 38 minutes ago. It says the defense questioning Cassie, why did you go to Sedona? She said, I went to Arizona to get away from the drugs. Um Defense, I'm going to go to a new topic. Mr. Combs told you to get the video you heard about. What did you write? I wrote, you keep putting me down. So the defense said, look at this. It's from 2013. She said, now I see. Estavo, what else did Mr. Combs take? My car, my passport, when he was angry. Let's refresh you about Mr. Combs being in rehab. She said, I vaguely remember. So they said objection. Then the judge, they come back. Now let's talk about rehab. Do you still Suboxone? She said something like that. She said, what does it treat? She said opiate addiction. And then they said objection from the prosecution. Judge said overrule. You wrote a book in rehab. The place treats sexual compulsions. Let me refresh this, see if it's something else. So that's where they are. So the defense, it's nothing new. Let me see if CNN has. Okay. Okay, so let's see what CNN has. Right, he forced her to say constantly. All right, so 1 hour ago, Victoria is back on the stand. The jury is entering. All right. So Ventura says she believes Combs was intoxicated during 2016 hotel altercation. Defense attorney Anna Esteveo is picking back up where she left off yesterday, questioning Cassie Ventura about Sean Denny Combs' drug use around the time of the intercontinental altercation in 2016. Estavo as if Ventura told investigators in previous interviews that Combs was blacked out during the incident. Today, Ventura said, I believe he was intoxicated and said everyone's perception of blackout is different. Then she, quote, I'm not a rag doll. I'm someone's child. Jury sees text messages of Ventura sent to Combs. The jury just saw message Cassie Ventura sent to her former boyfriend, Sean Diddy Combs, on March 10th of 2016, in which she describes the abuse. When you get effed up the wrong way, you always want to show me that you have the power and you knock me around. I'm not a rag doll. I'm someone's child. The message, which was read out loud in court, period. It speaks to how he forced her. Like, the defense has no case as far as I'm concerned. The defense has no case. I don't care how you try to rewrite it, how you try to make it seem like she consented. This man was abusive. She was stuck in an abusive cycle. Period. So here's what else Ventura and Combs texted each other days after the hotel altercation. The jury saw the messages between Cassie Ventura and Sean Diddy Combs from a couple of days after the intercontinental incident. So in the messages, Combs expressed desire to engage sexually with Ventura. Under cross-examination, Ventura confirmed that she thought it was a little strange that he would be suggesting something sexual after what happened at the hotel. Quote, I felt the way from Friday, referring to their time at the hotel. Combs wrote, what are you doing? Not a good vibe. We need a different vibe than Friday, Ventura wrote. Fuck Friday, LOL, Combs wrote. I don't even want to do that again. LOL, true, Ventura responded. In the following messages, Combs referenced a card and told Ventura that he loved her. Love you, Ventura responded. So Ventura says Combs took her phone, passport, and other possessions when he was angry with her. The defense brought up instances in which Cassie Ventura testified that Sean Diddy Combs had taken her phone after he suspected she was talking to other men. Here we go. One second, guys. So the defense brought up instances in which Cassie Ventura testified that Sean Diddy Combs had taken her phone. Da, 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 da. So Ventura said Combs will also take other possessions like her passport, her watch, when he was angry with her. And many times over other men she dated over the years, Ventura confirmed. I mean, like, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? Like, narcissist. She said, if I was with anyone else besides him, she said, I don't know that I would call it cheating. Like, y'all got an open relationship, period. When you're not with somebody, I'm not cheating. I feel like it's technically in a boyfriend girlfriend relationship. We weren't married, period. Period. We weren't married. Defense attorney, and that's right, Cassie, push back on the asses. The defense attorney asked Ventura if she remembered Combs taking her phone in 2013 after he suspected her of dancing with singer Chris Brown. Ventura says she didn't remember much about the incident besides the fact that I wasn't dancing with Chris Brown. In August of 2016, Combs took her phone when he learned she was dating another man. She testified they weren't really together at the time and were not in a great place. They'd been in the car driving to a doctor's appointment when she unlocked her phone. Combe grabbed it and ran out of the car, leaving the scene. He's such a fucking narcissist. Her mother called the police when she got home without her phone, Ventura said. Though she did eventually get her phone back from Combs later that day, she wasn't asked to expand on the police involvement. While Combs had her phone, he used it to call the NFL players she was seeing at the time. The player wasn't named. Yo, this some bullshit. Like, did he need his ass whooped by a man? You hear me? That's what he need. He a woman beater. And woman beaters usually are cowards and they cannot stand up to another man like that. So jury hears recording of Ventura threatening man who said he had actual explicit videos of her. So the jury just heard just recording that Cassie Ventura capture of a conversation she had with a man in Atlantic City in March of 2014 after she said he seen a actually explicit video of her, in which I believe was distributed by Diddy because he sent it to 50 Cent. So why wouldn't he send it to somebody else? Child, please. All right, so Ventura addressed the incident in her direct testimony, telling the jury that Sean Diddy Combs pushed her to get to the bottom of the situation. In the recording, Ventura is heard threatening the man multiple times. I'm going to kill you, and then he's going to kill you again. Ventura is heard saying in the recording. Whether there actually was a video or how the situation was resolved was not established in Ventura's testimony. Victoria testified that she believed a man had secretly taken a video of her and Combs during a freak off. She was concerned about it, and she said she told Combs, who said he'd take care of it. She testified. She confirmed that Combs was also concerned about actual explicit videos of himself getting out. Why? So Combs and Victoria used the escort service that was featured on a TV show. Okay, and I think like I think after this is when Jonathan Odie is gonna step in. I think he's gonna testify. So an escort service that Sean Diddy Combs and Cassie Ventura used, Cowboys for Angels, was featured on Showtime TV show called Gigolos. Ventura had been concerned that the escort she and Combs used might end up on the show and reveal their relationship. She confirmed when asked. The defense attorney suggested that some of the escorts involved in the couple's freak offs were featured on the show. Victoria says she's never seen the show, so she wasn't sure. All right, and this is just 10 minutes ago. Ventura says she sought inpatient treatment for mental health problems in 2013. So Cassie Ventura testified she went to an inpatient treatment center in earlier 2023 for mental health problems. The program was 45 days, and she said she began writing her book while she was there. Ventura confirmed she's taking buprenorphine. She was prescribed the medication for opiate addiction in 2022. Child. Let me see if it's any more. 6 minutes ago. Okay, so Victoria says she saw. Oh no, that's the latest. That's the latest and greatest. Let me go back to the Inner City Press to see if it's anything new. Okay, Inner City Press has a little more details. So Ventura testified. She said, let me see, there's nothing else. Okay. She says, I was physically developing. You were 22. Ventura, Cassie. Women keep development after 22, too, don't you think? But you're not suggesting you were still physically developing after 22. I'm not. So then the defense asked, did you participate in EMDR? She said, yes. What does it do? Memories and processing them. So the idea is you recall prior traumatic memories, like for PTSD. You were being treated for PTSD. Ventura said yes. Let me see if CNN got any updates. No updates from CNN. So y'all let me know in the comments. Who's double talking? The defense? I really feel like the defense doesn't have a case. Period. Read the last transcript. Which one? From CNN or from Inner City Press? I know a lot of people are going to try to paint this picture like Cassie was a willing participant. At the end of the day, when it comes to trafficking of humans, a lot comes along with that. And he made sure he had complete control over her mind. Okay, and the force labor comes in with her fear of being beaten to a pulp. This man had plastic surgeons on deck. He felt like he could beat her whenever he wanted to, whenever he didn't get his way. He treated her like a slave. But kudos to Cassie because she was brave enough to face this demon. Diddy is an actual deviant. He's a serial rapist and a serial iller. And that is my opinion. Period. That's my opinion. And he has a God complex and he feels like he could do whatever he wants. But when it comes to the people that he engages with, they can't. And that's what is the shame of all of this. You fought so hard to get to the top. You kicked down doors for hip hop, right? All to exploit women, your own people. Period. Terrence Howard said it best. Let me see if I can find that video because Terrence Howard ain't playing. He said it best. And he made it so people he got so drunk with power. And that's what Diddy's really addicted to. Forget all the drugs. Yes, be more shorty. Forget all the drugs and stuff like that. He is addicted to power. He's addicted to strong arming people. We saw that in when he was on TV on the band, how he made them walk across the bridge with the for the cheesecake. I can only imagine what he was doing behind closed doors. Okay, like he was making motherfuckers get on their knees. That's why he don't want to be openly gay because that's his power. That's his leverage. Yes, please hit the like button. I know, YouTube put me on punishment. We doing a live updates. From the court. Cassie's on the stand getting cross-examined. I'm suspecting that it will be done by this afternoon so she can go and have her baby in peace. And I'm telling you, when she deliver that baby, it's going to be a freeing of her mind. She's going to be able to let this go once and for all. But Terrence Howard even spoke to how he tried him. Let me find the PBD podcast. Yeah, so Terrence Howard even explained like he PBD. Let me see if I can get this. He explained how he tried to hire him for acting classes, and to me, Terrence Howard is a great actor, but the reason why he's not as far as he should be because he should be on the level of Will Smith, right? He's a great actor or whatever. He's not willing to bend over and sacrifice his manhood for it. Like, it's crazy. Here we go. He not willing to compromise himself. Shout out to the PPD podcast.
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. He's sitting there, just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. I was like, oh. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers coming to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman.
Period. Okay. Terry Crews has spoke how he has been essayed in the industry. Like, these motherfuckers is cool. Hey girl, shout out to the surprise witness. She's doing a great job of covering the Diddy trial. Shout out to Tisa Tells. Shout out to Mims. They are all at the trial live, but I gotta work. Like, YouTube don't pay me enough to be going through all of that. Yeah, be more sure. She said Cassie is gonna deliver this weekend. That chick is stressed out and don't want the baby heart rate to drop because of that. Period. All right. In other news, did y'all hear about Tory Lanez? I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. We just gonna end the show with that. Let me see. Let me pull it up. I'm so tired of this leprechaun. Cause this is my thing. Why you ain't say this during the trial? Let's get into Tory Lanez. Leprechaun Lanes. Like, if you don't sit down and do your time. And shout out to Fox 11 Los Angeles. This falls under fair use, fair use, fair use. Thumbs up this video.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming out and lending your cameras to the world. We appreciate you being here. My name is Sunstar Peterson, well known as the father of Tory Lanez, but his family affectionately knows him as Daystar Peterson.
Oh, this isn't Pappy. This is him, Pappy. I ain't realized that. I thought it was his lawyer. This is him, Pappy. This the one that was screaming, Rock Nation is responsible for this. Let me tell you something. I knew Kelsey had something to do with it when she took immunity. Let me just say that. Because what you need immunity for if you ain't do nothing? It's weird. And Tori, you dumb for not snitching on them bitches. For all I know, Megan and Kelsey conspired behind the scenes. I think they really friends.
This may seem not even to matter today, but it does to me. The reason why he bears the name Daystar is because I was scheduled to speak in a conference in Washington, D.C. back in the early 2000s. Back in the late 90s. My wife and I stayed in a hotel across the river in Northern Virginia. I was up praying before that conference that I was supposed to speak at that evening. As I paced back and forth in my hotel suite praying, I began to quote the scripture from 2 Peter chapter 1, and it states, "For you will do well to take heed as unto a light shining in a dark place, until the day dawns and the day star arises in your heart." I didn't know whether it was a boy or girl in my late wife's womb, but I heard the Holy Spirit said to me, that is the name of your child. That's why he bears that name today. Now we're standing in the United States of America, land of the free and the home of the brave. I have watched from afar, being a Canadian. I have watched as presidents innumerable and other officials.
I don't care about him. Hold on, let me find the other one. It's another one. I don't care about him. Mm-mm. Here we go. Shout out to Hip Hop DX.
Not long ago, Unite the People was approached by a gentleman named Bradley James. Mr. James informed us he was working as the bodyguard and driver for Ms. Kelsey Harris during Mr. Peterson's trial. As such, he was in close proximity and he had privy to conversations she was having with her husband and others. Mr. James informed us he was not under a non-disclosure agreement or a confidentiality agreement and was free to speak with Unite the People, and that he was doing it because his conscience would not let him not speak and leave a man in prison for something he did not do. Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was witness to the conversation Ms. Harris had, where she stated she had the gun, she fired it 3 times, Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times. In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody, never even touched that gun, never fired the gun. This statement aligns with the statement of the only non-party witness to the case, Mr. Sean Kelly, who at trial testified he saw 2 women fighting, 2 men break up the fight, 1 man grabbed the other one's arm. Gunshots came from the passenger side. Passenger side is where Ms. Harris was sitting. This further iterates that Mr. Peterson did not shoot Miss Pete, did not shoot at Miss Pete, or did not assault Miss Pete. It's just another irregularity in a list of irregularities in this case. For example, there were 3 potential suspects in the car that night, and yet the only DNA sample was taken of Mr. Peterson, even though unknown DNA was found on the gun. Why wasn't Miss Harris's DNA taken? Or was it taken and the information simply never given to the defense? Why wasn't the driver of the car, Mr. Jaquan Smith's DNA taken? Or was it taken and again, simply not given to the defense?
Well, here's my thoughts. Them 2 chicks, them 2 sluts, because Megan's a liar too, was fighting over some leprechaun peen, okay? Kelsey found out that Megan was screwing Tori, and she ain't like it. I mean, let's call it what it is. And that's what they got into a fight about. But none of this came out during the trial. Tori should have spoke up. Seriously, you doing 10 years behind 2 broads you was smashing and you wasn't with neither one of them in a committed relationship. Like, boy, bye. I'm just so tired of this whole trial dragging on. Let's get back to real business because we got some updates from CNN from Cassie's testimony. All right, so Ventura says she was treated for PTSD. Cassie Ventura is testifying about her time at a treatment center where she was seen for post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Ventura confirmed that she participated in different kinds of therapy at the facility, Willow House, to treat her for PTSD. Like, why does she have PTSD? Because of the diddler. Eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, EMDR, and somatic experiences were among the therapies she received. She testified. She said it helps recount memories and process them. Ventura described some of the treatment, saying if there was a time when you were getting beat up in a room and couldn't walk out, you would reimagine it in a way where you were actually able to leave the room. Neurofeedback treatment was another therapy she experienced. Victoria said they hook your brain up to a machine and you watch something and it just kind of regulates your brain waves, she said. And that she got treatment about 5 to 6 times. Okay. So then they took a short break. All right. So the jury sees the messages from Combs that references having freak offs without rugs. The jury was again shown messages from Sean Diddy Combs sent to Cassie Ventura in January of 2016 that was brought up previously on direct examination, in which he referenced having a freak off. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Hello? Sorry about that, y'all. All right. Free. Okay, so the jury was again shown messages showing Diddy Combs sent to Cassie Ventura in January 2016 that was brought up previously on direct examination, in which he referenced having a freak off without taking ketamine. Ventura previously testified that the K referenced ketamine. I hate K, so you let me know when. Please don't be mad and think that's all I want to do, Combs said, according to the text. A successful freak off is when we remember and we don't be fiending to do it the right way, he said. Continue. Okay. Let me see what else they have. So, what it's like inside the courtroom as the jury is in a short break. Sean Diddy Combs' attorneys have left the room to try to get the exhibits in order. Combs is sitting by himself at the defense table. He asked a junior member of his legal team to adjust the monitor on the table so he can see the screen. We don't care. I don't care nothing about Diddy and what his demeanor is. I don't care. All right, so there we have it. All right, so I'll keep my eye out for all of the updates on the trial. I'll be back tomorrow to let you know how they end off, and I'm interested to see who's going to be the next witness the prosecution is going to call the trial. And Tory Lanez, go suck your mother. Like, don't nobody care. Don't nobody care. I don't care you got stabbed, but they was trying to take you out because you wouldn't shut up. They was trying to take you out. I don't care. I don't care. You should have spoke up during the trial and you would not be sitting there. Period. You ain't even from this country. Snitch, nigga, snitch. All right. So I love you all. I appreciate you joining me. Let's leave it in the comments. Let me know what you think about the defense so far in the case that they're presenting. I think it's bull swinking what they presenting because they don't have nothing. At the end of the day, he beat her to a pulp. He beat her to submission. Bottom line, okay? And she felt no other option but to comply with what he wanted. And he wanted her to be at his disposal. He could do what he want, but Cassie can't. Like, mm-mm. And how his kids are sitting in that courtroom and not thinking about their late mother, Kim Porter, and what she must have went through. They brainwashed, period. They all in on it. I don't care what nobody say. That man is guilty as far as I'm concerned. And I think the prosecution is doing a very good job of presenting thus far. So let's leave it in the comments. I love you all. Happy Friday. I will be out tonight. Tonight is my best friend's bachelorette party. So we going to turn up. Yeah, I'll go live. You too. I'll go live so y'all can catch some of that footage. Okay. All right. Love you all. Have a great day. Peace. Blessings. I'm out. 1